During the 4-day border conflict between India and Pakistan, we saw escalating tensions and a huge amount of misinformation. It was unclear exactly what happened, how many jets had been shot down, how many drones had been employed. But what we do know is that it was the first time that Chinese weaponry has been tested on a large scale in a real-world scenario. That's because Pakistan's arsenal is almost entirely made up of Chinese weaponry. During the years 2020 to 2024, Chinese imports made up about 81% of weapons imports to Pakistan. India, on the other hand, was employing a combination of weapons from Israel, France, the US, and some from Germany, Sweden, the UK, and South Korea. So the balance between the two countries was very different. In China, in the aftermath of the 4 days of escalation, Beijing towed a careful line, but across Chinese social media, the reactions were jubilant. Social media erupted with nationalist fervor because people were seeing what, in effect, they perceived as a successful real-world combat test of Chinese weaponry. Whether Chinese jubilation was warranted is still uncertain. In the confusion, in the fog of war, it's still not exactly clear what happened. The misinformation around this conflict was really unprecedented. But what we can say is that if Chinese weaponry was used effectively against Indian fighter jets, for example, as Pakistan claimed that Chinese-made PL-15s shot down Indian aircrafts. A development like that could bolster global perceptions of China's military-industrial capabilities. One of the questions is, how did it come to this? How has Pakistan and China's relationship become so close, and how is it that China has come to be providing so much weaponry to Pakistan? Well, it all started in the 1960s and 1970s, during Pakistan's war with India in 1965 and 1971. After those wars, the US cut off aid to Pakistan, and China stepped in as a counterweight, providing fighter jets and military aid. At the time, China saw Pakistan as an effective counterweight to India, which at the time was Soviet-leaning, and Pakistan saw China as an effective alternative to US dependency. Then in the 1990s, with Pakistan's emerging nuclear program, the US cut off aid to Pakistan again. China stepped in and quickly became Pakistan's biggest supplier, supplying F-17 fighter jets, naval ships, and other weaponry. Even after US aid resumed, restrictions on high-tech weaponry from the US continued, causing Pakistan to push even closer to China. Now in 2025, China is Pakistan's largest trading partner and biggest arms supplier. It's also a huge investor in infrastructure, energy, and defense. On the other hand, for China, Pakistan is of really significant strategic importance due to its geographic location. Pakistan is the gateway to the Arabian Sea via the Gwadar port, which is part of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and China's Belt and Road Initiative. But now that Chinese weaponry has potentially had its spell in the sun, how will the US and India react? For India, one of the major issues with having a diverse range of weapons suppliers is that the different systems don't communicate well with each other or communicate at all, meaning there are compatibility issues. For example, Western systems won't talk to Russian systems or French aircrafts. Pilots also have to be trained in Indian, Russian, and French systems, which all have different cockpits and different architectures. So India will likely continue to attempt to reduce foreign dependency in the aftermath of this conflict.